I want to bring in Leslie Velez. She's a senior protection officer at the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, organization that fights for the rights and well-being of refugees. Leslie, I read some of your comments last week. We wanted to make sure we got you on. First of all, why should these undocumented children be classified as refugees? What's the thinking there?
Thank you for having us on your show. For us, it was very clear. We've been watching the trends increase since 2008. There has been a 712% increase in the number of asylum applications lodged by individuals from El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala to countries other than the United States. And then watching the number of children double every year since 2011 on U.S. soil was cause for concern. So last year we did intensive research interviewing over 400 children to identify, well, what are the reasons that they are leaving, and in that context, are there protection concerns, refugee concerns, and other complementary forms of international protection? Mm-hmm. And what we found was that, yes, it is a mixed flow, but within that flow, in our research, 60% of them feared violence and serious harm if they returned, and most of them were convinced that they could not access any kind of protection from their own governments. 48% apparently of folks say that they were threatened by criminals, 48% of the undocumented children that you talked to. And then you have this, the homicide rates for the countries where the majority of immigrants are coming from. In Guatemala, just under 40 per 100,000 people. El Salvador, 41.2 per 100,000 people. Honduras, 90.4 per 100,000. Are most people, you think, in this country missing precisely why it is that this is happening? Yes, the numbers are alarming, but the stories behind them are very heart-wrenching. So, for example, we had one girl who left. She had been threatened by criminal armed groups in her home and threatened to become a girlfriend for criminal armed groups. Non-consensual sexual relations, and she knew that they would make good on her threat because they had threatened her best friend at school, and they actually ended up murdering her and dismembering her and her body parts, putting her along the way to school so that all the girls in the town would know that they shouldn't resist, that these threats were not empty.
It seems as if also, Leslie, and Mark just alluded to this, one of the things that's gotten lost in all of this, the story of these human smugglers, these child traffickers. What more can you tell us about these people?
There are many individuals who are preying on the vulnerability of these children, so they're vulnerable in their home countries, and they're vulnerable for the opportunity when they're trying to escape for their lives. So there are people preying on them, and what the UN is asking for is that these children, before being returned to these situations, have access to a fair process to review their asylum claim, both in Mexico and the United States. The United States has a robust asylum system, and we're asking that the children have access to that fair process to have their claims determined. Leslie
Velez. Leslie, we'll have to get you back. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
At least 5 people are dead, including